With China, should we try to engage with China? Should that be our first order of business, to try to engage with China? Or should we step back and say, this is almost like, I don't know, the Soviet Union from back in the day? I mean, how should we engage with Chinese?
So I think for 30, 35 years, we had 90% engagement, 10% competition.
Yep.
Right? Now we're basically at 90% competition and 10% engagement. I think actually, unfortunately, we've got it about right at this point. Okay. I think we need to understand that China's not interested in the kind of engagement that we've pursued for 30-some years. They have their own vision. They want their own norms, their own values, their own interests reflected on the global stage.
Your book, The Third Revolution, was my book of the summer. It seems ages ago, pandemic ago as well. In it, you were really controversial about the power that President Xi has in China. Has he solidified his power? Is he impregnable now?
I don't know whether anyone is impregnable. Certainly, he's done an amazing job of bringing institutional power into his own hands. What we don't know is, how much his personal power actually radiates through society. What is the real legitimacy of Xi Jinping among the Chinese people? We have some polls, for example, that show that urban Chinese would really like to have greater freedom of speech. They'd really like, greater property rights, the right to assemble. I think you can look and see a lot of dissatisfaction in the country if you look beneath the surface. We don't have 180,000 protests on the streets the way we used to because Xi Jinping has put in place this incredible repressive apparatus. But that's not to say discontent is not still there.
The heart of the matter, and folks, I attended the Council on Foreign Relations, where I'm a member of a very important conference by Gina Raimondo. I've got a business, Paul, as you mentioned, a business globalization structure debating China. And I've got a president of the United States worried about 4 swing states, so he's anti-China. And the candidate for the Republican Party, I believe, is anti-China as well. Are we able to have a cogent discussion on China now? Are we literally back to Chiang Kai-shek and the ballet post-World War II?
I think that we're able to have a cogent discussion, but the parameters have shifted so that there's a new realization about the real challenge that China presents. I think we don't want to go down the rabbit hole where everything is about competition. We need to do what the Biden administration started out to do, which is to look for areas of common ground and common purpose, to try to find communication channels on the military to military cooperation. We don't want this relationship to devolve into kinetic conflict. But it's also true that we recognize we can't continue that globalization without any protection for the American economy.